Hi, in this video we do another question time. Hi, I'm Adam and welcome to First Man Photography, the channel that will help you take your photography to the next level. If you haven't done so yet, head over to firstmanphotography.com, fill in your details to join the email list, and I'll send you a free copy of the ebook on how to capture perfect exposure every time. Okay, let's get into this. So question one, Ari is asking, how can we share photos with you? I have played around before with the idea of having some sort of facility on my website to upload the photos. That takes some coding, it takes some time, and I think Instagram is already providing such a good tool for us to share photos. It's not you're not going to get the highest quality photograph, but we can still see each other's work, discover each other with the hashtags and things. The engagement on there is just absolutely brilliant though. You post a photo that is good and people like, and people will start talking to you and talking about your work. Just make sure that you get really deep involved in the comments, respond to people that like your work as well. Do some work on the hashtag, go through other people's photos, comment on other people's photos, encourage them, and you'll soon find that you start getting likes and people following you. And Instagram is just a great place to see other people's work. So Tony is asking about capturing birds in flight, having seen this video, and he's asking, how do you calculate the correct ISO to use, as you will not be sure as to where you will be actually taking the photograph until the bird arrives. So really Tony is asking about exposure here and how do you decide on what ISO you're going to use. Firstly, when it comes to capturing birds in flight, take some time to try and learn the flight path of the bird and somewhat predict where that bird is going to be. Try and set your camera up at that location, and then it's just a case of being patient and waiting for the bird to fly in to the composition, to the area that you want it to fly in. This is why wildlife photography is difficult, because it takes time, it takes patience, dedication to capturing those perfect images. Otherwise, it's just a case of learning how to enter a situation and start thinking about your exposure. You can do this in any situation, any room you walk into, every time you're out and about. Think about what the exposure settings might be on your camera. Unlike bird photography as well, you should really be starting with the ISO, because that'll set you up for the shutter speed and the aperture as well. That's how I do it. You might do it another way, but start thinking about those exposures and what your ISO will be in lots of different situations. You'll build up experience of shooting in manual mode, because that's what Tony's talking about here, and you'll soon find that you start to get quite accurate exposure within a half a stop either side of what's right. And you'll find that your experience really improves and you get better photos, you get more comfortable shooting in manual, and you start to get things right first time. Tony then follows up by asking, what kind of metering do you use? Really, I just leave it on evaluative metering most of the time, because I just really use the meter to get an idea of the range I'm in, because I'm shooting in manual, so it's not the meter doing the work for me. I'm doing that myself, but the meter just gives me an idea of where I am. Another thing you can do is just take a test shot, use the screen as your meter. So is it exposed right? Does it look okay on the back of your camera? And then you've also got the histogram as well to see if that exposure is correct. So you're using all these tools together to try and get that accurate exposure. I would though consider that if you're shooting portraits, try putting it on spot metering so that the exposure doesn't get thrown off by whatever's in your background, and it just focuses on getting exposure right on your subject, whatever that may be. Blairon asks, great name, what do you use for screen recording? I use ScreenFlow. That lets you capture everything going on the screen of the computer, and it also lets you capture the iPad and iPhone screen as well. Good piece of software. So Charlie asks, is the Manfrotto B3 tripod stable enough to hold the Canon 5D Mark IV and a 24-70 lens? Well, let's find out. Yes, it does. I've been using the Manfrotto B3 tripod a lot for my landscape photography recently, especially when I'm getting out and about, climbing those mountains, and I don't want to carry the bigger tripod around. It really is a good tripod, and it will even hold a 400mm lens, the f5.6, with the Canon 5D attached to it, and I've used that on a number of occasions to really capture some good shots. It's not a problem. It's a great tripod, and it will hold a lot heavier than the maximum weight would suggest. Jason asks, I'm shooting water drop photography. If I buy cheaper wireless flash triggers, will they lag and result in me missing shots? In a word, no. I've not experienced this when I'm shooting my water drop photography, and really the electronics are doing the same thing every single time because it's predictable, it's binary, and they're going to do what they're supposed to do every single time, unless they break, of course, but we're assuming that hasn't happened. So we're talking about lag with the wireless triggers, not a problem. The thing where the difference comes in is with water. That's the variable, because water's just got that kind of property that it does different things all the time. It comes out the nozzle at different speeds sometimes. Any tiny movement in the water bath that you're using will result sometimes in the water drop doing something different, and then the timing will be out with the camera. So the flash triggers are really not the thing you need to be worrying about. Buying cheap flash triggers is going to help you out, and they're really not very expensive these days. Don't waste your money on things like the Pocket Wizards, because again, that's not going to start helping you get great shots. If you become a professional and you want that kind of thing, then you will know. But first, when you're first buying flash triggers, don't waste your money on the Pocket Wizards, because in my experience, the cheaper ones do just as good a job. It's not a complicated job that they've got to do. They're just sending a wireless on-off signal which fires the flash from that remote trigger on the camera. So recommend them. Good for water drop photography, and I've not had a problem with it. Jamie asks, what type of macro extenders do you recommend? I really recommend the cheapest ones you can find that have the metal contact, because they're a very simple piece of kit. They're literally, all they're doing is putting space between the lens and your camera sensor, and that's really the only job they're doing. Having the metal contact though lets you use the autofocus and have electronic control of the aperture, so that is important, but you can still get them for very cheap. Don't waste your money on the Canon or the Nikon ones, because they're just extortionately expensive for when you can get something like this for a lot cheaper, and they do the exact same job. Heidi asks, when is your next vlog? I really like watching them. Well, Heidi, thank you very much. Firstly, I'm hoping to film and put out my next vlog next week. As time goes on, I'll be aiming to put them out sort of once every couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks at the very most. And that is my aim for the future. And hopefully, as the channel continues to grow, I'll be getting out and about more often into these amazing places to produce the vlogs and show you a little bit of how I shoot my landscape photography. The next question is, can you put a 50mm prime lens on a cropped sensor body? Yes, you can. You can pretty much put any lens that's designed for a full frame camera onto a cropped sensor camera. You just need to take that cropped sensor into account. On a Nikon, it's 1.5, I think. On a Canon, it's 1.6. So you just need to times the focal length of the lens by 1.6 when you put it on a crop sensor camera, and that will be your 35mm equivalent focal length. Doesn't work the other way around though. You can't put, like on the Canon side of things, you can't put an EFS lens onto a full frame camera because you risk damaging it. My friend who was assisting me at a wedding not so long ago tried to ram a EFS lens onto the Canon 5D Mark II that he was using that day, and he sort of destroyed the mirror mechanism inside the camera because it's a slightly different mount. Thankfully, I did manage to fix it though, so no damage was caused, no friendships were lost. And that Canon 5D Mark II, I've had it for so long now, and it's just indestructible. It was that camera that I dropped in the water. It's been through all sorts. Amazing camera. And now that the 5D Mark IV is out, you're going to get some great deals on that Canon 5D Mark II. It's still a great camera. I still use it because I traded in my Mark III. So yeah, 5D Mark II. Wow. Indestructible. Are you Jack from Unbox Therapy? Again, no. Do you want to be like Unbox Therapy? No. But it is a really cool channel. You open boxes in a very unoriginal way. What? Okay, so keep your questions coming in the comments down below and across social media. I really appreciate them. I like answering them, and I will aim to answer as many as possible in the comments and in these videos. So now I'm going to ask you a question. I want to know, what camera system are you all using? Are you using Canon, Nikon, Sony, Micro Four Thirds, that kind of thing? I want to know. I'm interested and it might help me create better content for you in the future. So I hope you enjoyed that, and like I said, I've got another vlog coming next week. The Canon 5D Mark IV full review is still in the works, and there's lots more coming as well. Please make sure you subscribe. There's videos every Sunday and every Wednesday, and I'll see you on another one very soon. I'm Adam. This is First Man Photography, out.